remember thinking was, Grandma's gone, Grandma's gone. As a 4-year-old in a hospital waiting room, I didn't understand what was happening, but I did understand that it was serious and that we were in the hospital and that people die in hospitals. My grandmother was dying of liver disease, but it was so serious because she had originally been misdiagnosed with hepatitis A. It was only when she was so orange and so weak that my aunt took her to the hospital. She needed an immediate liver transplant and was placed on the waiting list on Friday. By Sunday, she was in the OR and she survived. 12 years later, she needed an immediate kidney transplant. The medicine she was on from the liver transplant had depleted her kidney's ability to function properly. Again, she survived, and she is still alive today. My grandmother's story is only one of hundreds of thousands. According to the United Network for Organ Sharing, there is 105,722 Americans waiting for an organ right now. Donating an organ can bring life from death. Since the first kidney was successfully transplanted in 1954, organ donation has become a common practice of removing organs and tissues now like eyes, skin, tendons, and heart valves from a verifiably dead person and transplanting them into a person in need of them. But the critical question that needs answering is, when is a person verifiably dead? When their brain doesn't work? When they can't breathe on their own? Or is it when they can't physically feed themselves? Or when their heart has stopped beating for over 60 seconds? In recent news, doctors and hospitals alike have made executive decisions to take life from one person with minimal chances and to give it to another with slightly higher chances. But where's the line drawn? Think of your loved ones and place them on both sides of this situation. Your grandmother needs a lung transplant. Your best friend got in a car accident and has little brain activity and is on life support. Is it ethical and morally okay to pull the plug from the one with little brain activity a few moments too soon if it might save the one needing a transplant? Although organ donating is a widely accepted practice as a beneficial and life-saving practice, the exigence arising from doctors and hospitals utilizing their power to make swift life-or-death decisions regarding saving one patient over another has pushed the ethical envelope. An article published on FoxNews.com on August 14, 2008, addresses the sources of these ideologies and the exigence they create. According to the article, donation after cardiac death is encouraged by the federal government and organ banks because it increases the number of organs available for transplant, but several doctors and physicians question its ethics. The article describes the story of 3 Denver babies on life support. They weren't brain dead, but with the family's consent, they were taken off life support, and the doctors waited 75 seconds after their heart stopped to take out their heart and transplant it into 3 other babies waiting for it. All 3 other babies survived, and this story serves as an example for why several doctors feel as though this is an unethical procedure. In August 2008, Dr. Burnett published an article, Boundaries of Organ Donation After Circulatory Death, in the New England Journal of Medicine, discussing important issues regarding donations after cardiac death. He asked the questions, how does a heart work in one patient but not another? Doesn't cardiac transplantation from a donor declared dead according to cardiac death retroactively negate the determination of death? The FoxNews.com article quotes Robert Beach, a professor of medical ethics at Georgetown University, saying that in reference to the Denver babies case, they don't have irreversibility, so they don't have death, because the heart was able to function in another person. But why are these questions regarding ethics causing such an exigence about donation after cardiac death? According to Dr. Burnett, it satisfies 2 needs: procuring more organs and fulfilling the family of those with severe brain damage's wish to donate their family members' organs before removing life support. So this is a good thing, right? The ideologies of those who question the procedure contest its accordance with the organ donation's golden rule, the dead donor rule, causing a serious exigence. The dead donor rule states that the donor must be dead before organ procurement. But what does dead mean? According to the network of Organ Sharing's website, it is the irreversible cessation of circulation and respiration, or the irreversible cessation of brain functions. Irreversible being the key word here, thus raising the question about how a heart cannot function in the donor, which causes the death of the donor, but yet can function in another patient. As Dr. Burnett had asked, wouldn't that refute the cause of death, and thus the procedure wouldn't be in accordance with the dead donor rule? Or was it that the donor wasn't going to recover, and that with the family's wish, it would benefit the greater good to intervene, remove life support, and save another life while it was still possible? Being as organ donation after cardiac death is a widely accepted is widely accepted and practiced, the exigence brought about the ideologies of the ethically concerned wasn't inevitable, but it cannot be ignored. Through discourse, debate, and research, maybe one day all physicians and medical experts can stand behind the same ideologies in regards to donation after cardiac death. But until then, the ideologies of the few will pose an exigence to the many. Whether it is a question of ethics or good medical practice to remove viable organs from a patient who has suffered cardiac death and transplant them into another, I just don't know. I am not a doctor. I only know my side of the story. But while my grandmother's story had a happy ending, I know it would be naive to think that everyone else's did too. Each case is different and each requires a unique approach. Thank you.